was the end of sophomore year, and I remember walking through the terminal when I looked back at the slowly disappearing figures, which were my friends in Shanghai Hongqiao Airport. That marked the moment when I realized that I had to move from Shanghai to Taipei. This move was big because it was a move where I was able to realize several things about myself. Some of the sources that I used to enhance this speech are quotes from family and friends, a book from Mansfield Tabor, which is Longing for America, Notes from a Traveling Childhood, a study from TransitionDynamics.com, a quote from WinnieThePoohQuotes.org, articles from LifeScience.com, ThoughtCatalog.com, Psychology Today, CMHNetwork.com, HolloState.edu, and TCKWorld.com. There are 3 points I'd like to establish through that I've realized that through moving from Shanghai to Taipei was I do not have a problem adapting into new environments. I do not know where I come from, and I tend to come off as awkward when I first meet people. Through the past 19 years, I've been through 8 schools and 9 houses, which is a lot to move from considering the majority of the population around here. There are many positive aspects to these moves, however. But my move from Shanghai to Taipei was incredibly different because I've been living in Shanghai at that time for 9 years. And so even though I have moved through several different areas around Shanghai, it has, throughout those moves, I've still been able to go back to my friends and the people who I've hung out with throughout that time and connect with them even because we were still in the same city. However, moving to Taipei was a completely different story. And so even though it was tough, I was lucky to have something that made saying goodbye so hard, which is also said by Winnie the Pooh, got from WinnieThePoohQuotes.com. One of the things that I've realized through moving from Shanghai to Taipei was that I do not have a problem adapting into new environments. 10 out of 70 individuals in today's world are TCKs, otherwise known as third culture kids. These people are generally focused into a group of people who are born in one culture and raised among many others, from TransitionDynamics.com and HolloState.edu. A quote that really emphasizes this is from Mansfield Tabor, taken from the book of Mansfield Tabor, Longing for America, Notes from a Traveling Childhood. I am by most nature a chameleon, a sponge, a being of multiple selves. When I arrive anywhere and observe the morals and values of the places, and I seek to mimic them, becoming, in a sense, each time someone new. I feel like this quote directly relates to myself. An anecdote from my mom, who used to always say that you can drop me into any environment and I'd be able to adapt well within a few weeks and be able to create new bonds and new friends and be able to feel at home in the new environment. However, through moving a lot, I've been struggling to answer the question, where are you from? Until this day, I still say I don't know. I don't know where I'm from because through a third culture kid is usually rooted in one home culture but lived outside the host culture. So in the end, we don't really know if we're fully one culture or another. So this comes up to increased infusion, and the issue of identity comes up, and this persists through adulthood for many individuals. From TransitionDynamics.com, there is an example of a psychology study where a third culture adult who held an American passport at that time, he told the psychologist that he would never be able to identify himself as American, even though despite his passport nationality. I've always dreaded introducing myself to big groups of people or just to individuals because of this that's why I don't like to have introductions when I first meet people or like first day of camp. But then I decided to split the people I meet into 2 different groups. The first group being people who I realize that I'll just meet and probably never see again, and the second group would be people who I'd actually establish a a relationship with within the coming few years or within the near future. And so for the first group of people, I would just simply answer a quick question which would be generally accepted. So if I'm at A&M, for example, I would say I'm from the Dallas area. But for the second group of people, I give them the 5-minute explanation and attempt to explain where I'm from. So when people ask me where I'm from, it takes me a while to answer. Usually when they ask for my school or home or where I'm from or where I was born, it would be from a variety of different places. So moving around has affected me not only by helping me understand culture and behavior, but it has also affected my personality. I tend to come off as so-called awkward when I first meet people because I tend to be pretty outgoing, but at the same time shy. A study was done to compare introverts and extroverts from livescience.com, and extroverts were said to relate the feeling of joy with the environment they are in, whereas introverts would be too focused on the attention of detail, which is why introverts are usually considered quiet. And I've realized that whenever I'm in a new situation, I would definitely pay attention to detail more often and it would result in myself being more quiet. Therefore, when I meet people, I've been told that it's pretty awkward to talk to me since there's a lot of silent in-betweens. Although I'm very open to answer any questions that people would want me to answer back when they're talking to me, I have trouble keeping up with their conversation. So after living in Shanghai for about 9 years and thinking that I had finally had a place to call home, moving to Taipei was pretty unexpected, but it helped me realize several things about myself. My move from Shanghai to Taipei had led me to believe a couple things, including that myself adapting into new environments is a relatively easy process compared to several other people. And I would probably never know the answer to where are you from. And my impression when I first meet people is that I'm awkward. Thank you.